All right, let's face it, cold calling can suck, right? You have to do it for a long time to find somebody that's interested in talking to you. You get a ton of resistance. And when somebody does talk to you, at best, they're lukewarm on selling their property. They don't know who you are. You're just calling them out of the blue. It's like having a door to door salesman for roofing knock on your door. You're like, man, I was watching Netflix. Why are you bothering me? What do you want? I didn't say I wanted a roof, right? Your natural resistance is up and you don't want to talk to the person. So cold calling is hard. Driving for dollars is better, right? Because you're driving around looking for properties, looking for vacant properties, putting notes on the door, whatever. But it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to drive for dollars. And not all of us have that time, right? If you're getting into wholesaling, you might be working another job, you might have another gig, you have kids, you have a spouse, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, other commitments, whatever, and you don't have 8 hours a day to make cold calls. You don't have 8 hours a day to get in your car and drive around to look for properties, all right? So I want to talk about a different way, a different strategy that you can add to those things, right? I'm not saying just give up on those things, but this is something really cool that you can add to that you can do in a very short amount of time, every evening, every morning before you go to work or whatever, that will get people reaching out to you. And why is that important? Because when they reach out to you, they are much more motivated. The conversation goes so much better. When I was driving for dollars all the time, that was the best thing about it is when, because I would put notes on the door and people would call me. And when they called me, they were very motivated to sell. And it went so much better and it was so awesome. Okay. So I want to do that for you. I want to show you a way you can get people reaching out to you and say, hey, I'm interested in selling my house. Okay. So what we're looking at is a picture of a house that I wholesaled in 2015. And I was doing this technique way back then. I got this deal because I emailed this person. Okay. And at the time, I had access to a skip tracing software called TLO. TLO is still around, but they're very hard to get. It was hard to get back then, and it's even harder to get back now, or get now, because it's not made for real estate investors, right? Some real estate people lie and say, oh, I'm using it to screen tenants or things like that and get access to it. But they don't want you looking up owners of vacant houses for cold calls and all that stuff, right? But it's a system that was built for like law enforcement and skip tracers and collection agencies and all those kind of people that were trying to track somebody down, right? So it's tied into the credit bureaus, so they have all the the most recent contact information. But we're 10 years later now, and we can get that information other places. Sometimes it's not quite as good, but it's good, right? So we have that option. All right, so anyway, this White House is a house I wholesaled in East Point, Michigan. All right, and here, just to prove it to you, here's the email from 2015 where I reached out to this person asking them, I said, hey, I'm looking for the owner of this house. I am a real estate investor. If you're interested in selling, blah, blah, blah. And then they reached back out to me. Said, yep, they're getting ready to sell. They were interested in selling and all those things, right? So boom, this was a good deal. And I ended up closing on this deal, got it under contract, flipped it to an investor, sold it, made my money, and I was gone. Okay. So how do you do this in 2025? What's the most effective way? Because back then I was using Hotmail, and this was like the worst way to do this. And it's not a good way to do it now. You probably get your email account closed down. So how would I do it in today's world, in the 2025 world? First thing I do, pull a list, okay? And I use DealMachine because for so many reasons, but a big reason now is all the contact information for property owners is in DealMachine. It's there if they're a private owner, it's there if they're a corporate owner, okay? So no more skip tracing. All right. If you use another software, use PropStream or something else, you want to pull a list and then skip trace it for emails and all that, you can. Okay. But DealMachine is best for this. Okay. So I pulled a list, vacant property, St. Petersburg, Florida, and go into one. And you can see here under the contact, here's a guy, the contact, and he's the owner, and it's got 3 email addresses for him that he's used that are in, public records or, whatever. So 3 email addresses. So you can pull this list of vacant properties and, in your area with the criteria you're looking for, single family, absentee owners, vacant, high equity, whatever you want to put in as criteria, download the list. All right. Boom, you've got a list of owners with email addresses. Next thing I would do is verify those emails. So I'd hop over to a system called Million Verifier. All right. Million Verifier is one of the best, if not the best, and the cheapest for verifying emails. So one time you can go in here and buy 10,000 credits and it's cost you 37 bucks. And then you can upload your list and just clean it, right? And then you just say, all these emails are bad. Here's a list of the good ones. All right. So now you have the list of the good ones. All right. For whatever city you're marketing, say like that property I did, say East Point, Michigan. All right. So now I have a list of all the vacant properties in East Point, Michigan, or like the list I pulled on DealMachine for St. Petersburg, Florida, or whatever. I would keep it city specific. Okay. Then we're going to email those people. And we're going to say, hey, I'm an investor. It looks like you have a vacant property. I'm just reaching out to see, to verify you have a vacant property in St. Petersburg, Florida. And if so, I'd like to talk to you. I'm interested in buying it. All right. I wouldn't do that through an Outlook account. I wouldn't do it through a Gmail account, any email account that's free, because email rules are a lot stricter now than they were in 2015. You're not going to get away with it. All right. So I would get a domain email, like, your name at yourcompany.com, right? Like David at the wholesalerstoolbox.com, and set up a domain email. Okay. Now, even if you have that set up like on a Gmail account or through Gmail, because they do domain emails, you still don't want to send like a lot of bulk mail out of that, because they limit how much you send a day. So I would really grab something like Kit. All right. Kit.com. I've used this for years. All right. And you can have up to 10,000 people in here for free. All right. So they're not going to stay on your list. All right. So you might dump 1,000 names in here, or 500 names, and send to them a few times and get some people respond, right? But then you can delete those all out and then add another 500 or another 1,000 or another 2,000 or whatever, right? So I don't see a reason why necessarily you would ever go over 10,000 in this account. All right. And you would upload names into this. Now, again, I'm going to say you don't want to start out with sending just, 10,000 emails in a day, because if you've never sent emails off your domain before and you start out sending thousands, they're going to go, wait a minute, you have no emailing domain, authority or reputation, right? And they're going to think you're fishy. So I would just make it a habit when you start doing this, just do 50 a day, right? 50 a day for a week or two, and then bump it up, and then maybe go to 100, and then maybe go to 150, right? Slowly over time. Right now I could send 50,000 emails. And they wouldn't blink an eye, because I send emails all the time. But I've built up that domain reputation over years and years. Okay. So, but you can sign up for this and send the emails out of that. Lastly, for writing the emails. Listen, when I was in high school, I was a horrible student. All right. I had a typing class that I dropped out of because I thought, I'm never going to type. Now it's all I do. But I thought, I'm going to have a manual labor job. I'm going to be, moving something, or I'm going to be a salesperson, or I'm going to be something where I'm not going to have to do that. And look at how the world changed, right? So, but I've been using a tool called Copy. Copy is amazing for writing email, for writing social posts, for all that stuff. And I know you say, I can use like Chat GPT or something like that. But the thing with Chat GPT is you have to know the prompt to put in, right? To create an email, to craft a good email. Copy is made just for writing email copy, right? So it already has kind of like the prompts built into it. So I just wrote in here, right? Write a friendly professional email, right? And it explained who I am, what I'm doing. And then you can pick the tone, right? Relax, casual, simple, right? However you want to do it. And just hit create. And it creates the email for you, right? And then all you have to do is you can either connect this to your domain server, or you can just copy and paste it into your emails, right? But it works. It just spits out the email. All right. So let's say we don't like this one, right? It looks good. I think it looks nice. It's kind of punchy. It like highlights it. But let's change it. Let's go from a relaxed tone to a what do we want to do? Let's just do something crazy. Let's go with a bold tone. I don't know that I necessarily send this, but I just want to show you the difference. All right. So let's create that. And it takes a minute. And I'll scroll down to it. And there it is. Turning your property problem into opportunities. All right, but you can create so many different kinds of emails with this. We can go with empathetic. And let's try story driven. This is the last one I do. I won't keep you, but then I'm going to say it right. You can do it. This might be good. Story driven might be good for like if you're targeting probates, right? Where you're more empathetic and right, so that you can relate to what they're going through, something like that. But you get my point. With Copy, you can do so many things. You can do email campaigns, you can write newsletters, you can, improve something if you've got something you like, but you say, hey, I want to make this better, outreach, social posts, website, lead max, all that stuff, if you've got another business, right? But this is a great tool. So this is a tremendous way to market. Again, email is extremely effective. It's why companies like Old Navy use it all the time, because it's cheap, because it's effective, and because when they send out an email, if you're interested, you just click and respond. You click and go to their website. With you doing it with real estate, people are going to either click and reply or call your number or go to your website or whatever you want them to do. Okay. So if you want all this stuff, right, or if you want to check this stuff out, I'm going to put it in the description of this video. All right. But I would like you to comment and tell me what you think about this strategy. I want you to like the channel. I want you to thumbs up the video, but especially comment and tell me what you think about the strategy and if you're going to try it. Okay. So I hope this helps you find some motivated sellers, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.